It's Cocoa Tea and Bakes, where we sip cocoa, share our thoughts, and serve up some bakes of wisdom. Cocoa Tea is your go-to for the juiciest gossips and saucy views, and Bakes is here to sprinkle some wisdom and keep it real with the occasional drizzle of petty bettiness. Together we dive into the latest drama, life stories, and everything in between. So grab your favorite cup and join us for a deliciously entertaining sesh. Season 1, Death in Paradise, The Comeback. Hello again, and now we're in episode 4, season 14 of Death in Paradise. Have you been catching up? Have you been watching? We certainly have. How are you feeling, Kokoti?
I feel good, I feel ready.
Good. So what did we think about this particular episode? So, quick background story. Let's see. We have a murder in a rum factory distillery where everybody's had a glass of rum and basically are poisoned by methanol, if I'm rightly. Methanol poisoning. And it's a case of literally who did it. And there are quite a few suspects in this particular case. Mainly, I would have to say mainly 2, really and truly.
Yeah.
So the background is it's a family-owned distillery, and the supposed son of the original owner was the victim in this case. The 2 suspects that we're talking about is the sister and I suppose you could consider, I wouldn't say ex-girlfriend per se, more like, ex-fling.
No.
Not even a fling.
No, potential buyer. I said it's potential buyer.
Oh, well, sorry, spoiler alert. Potential buyer.
It's not a spoiler, they tell you at the beginning.
But you said potential buyer. I'm like, baby mama. But
Buyer.
Baby mama / buyer. Okay. Baby mama / buyer. So, yeah, I must admit, this particular episode is quite ingenious how the murderer did it. We're going to talk about that later on, though. But that's my first thoughts about, because we were figuring out how, it was literally how everybody got poisoned at the same time. And you all drew our conclusions. It was this, it was that. I think everybody that watched the episode, the first few they said was, "It's the rum!" as a certain Caribbean song says, "The rum that do we that, the rum that do we that." So yeah, rum did them that, clearly. And Kokoti just laughing at me.
I think this episode was the first one where I was like, wow, okay, yeah, I think I can get this. I think I can work this out. Let me sit down. There must be some sort of calculation I can do to work out how this happened. Because everyone was impacted, it must mean there's some simple maths here that we can calculate to work out who did what. And I think
The maths weren't mathing.
But I think everyone got aspects of it correct.
Yes.
Yeah, you from the jump knew aspects straight away. Yeah.
I think it was more the fact that Pineapple Boy shed loads of pictures.
He was using his initiative.
And went the complete opposite of doing too little.
Like he said, he's going to do too much.
He did too much, but the thing is, he always does too much and he always delivers. There's always something that's important to the case that comes out of him doing too much. So he was never doing too little to begin with, except for, that particular episode where he was supposed to go undercover. Sleepy Pete and Silent Sam, I say no more.
God.
But, again, he's always improving. But, yeah, him doing too much led to a key bit of information on the case. But this was a really complex one. Because it was literally a family affair. It's a family affair.
Yeah. No, it was a complicated one. I felt like the sister had something to do with it just because how, air quotes, honest she was being with the director.
Oh, yes.
In the hospital.
The theme of this particular episode, everybody was being extremely honest and transparent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, yes, I suspected the sister because of how, at the beginning of the episode, you see the baby mama / buyer meet the sister, and from the sister's end you can see that there's things she wanted to say. From the buyer / baby mama's end, it's like, I want nothing to do with you. It was a very frosty reception, shall we say. And I'm just like, What did sister do to you? I'm sure we'll find out. But let's see, what did she do to you to warrant that kind of reception, considering, you know, you hadn't been on the island for however long. But it also transpired through the investigation as they thought that she'd never been on the island at all. They thought she was a newcomer until they dug into her past and realised she'd been there before. And she actually had worked at the factory a very long time ago.
Yeah. And I think we need to stop calling her baby mama, just due to the fact that, and again, we should have said at the beginning, there is obviously talks of SA in this episode, for anyone who hasn't watched it. But it's called...
SA?
Sexual assault.
Thank you for the clarification for our listeners.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, that could have just meant South Africa to me.
No, that's what they use online when I listen to them.
Oh, okay. So that's what they use. So,
yes. But it's called, so, we shouldn't call her baby mama because based upon that.
She's a baby mama.
I know, but...
I mean, factual here, she is a baby mama and a buyer. It's baby mama / buyer. Her purpose of coming back to the island was actually to buy the distillery in order to raise it to the ground and build something better.
Yes. I hear that.
But she didn't tell them that.
No, she did. She told the sister that.
I think that was towards the end, no?
No, she was called when she was there. She told the sister that. And the guy must have told the sister that as well. That's the whole reason why
she's buying.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what she wanted to do with it. I just think to myself, it was very much a prodigal son situation. You know, the brother hadn't been around for 18 years. They said something like that, crazy. The sister had done all that hard work.
Yeah, she wants to own the distillery and make it her own. As Louis would say in Britain's Got Talent, you made it your own. But unfortunately, she didn't get the chance.
Yeah, like I think over the 18 years she had to earn her father's respect.
That's right. She worked her way up, literally, and was capable of managing that place by herself until he came back.
No, the father died.
No, the son. Until the son came back. That's what I'm saying.
The son came back because the father died. But what I'm saying, the sad thing is, even though she did that for 18 years, the father never changed his will.
No recognition.
Yeah, never changed his will to have the son be the
to have her in charge rather than the son. But that was sad though, the fact that she worked so hard and honestly to do what, you know, to progress to the point where she, you know, it was very clear that she can manage the distillery, she could do everything that the son could have done. Bearing in mind the son was a this boy.
Yep.
And the father the father didn't recognise her for that, which I thought was a real crying shame.
Yeah. People are old school in that way sometimes, though. Very, very, very old school in that mindset.
They are, but it's sad though. It's a sad state of affairs when, you know, the one child that does really well and really wants your approval and wants to take on the responsibility is not the one you choose.
Yeah. So then I think that was
sad to see.
That was sad. But also, in my mind, that was what made me think that it could be her anyway.
Well, she had big motive, innit? That is big motive to kill somebody.
That's a lot of envy, a lot of jealousy.
That's major motive, man. You know, you've done so hard, the next thing you know, someone turn up and steals the limelight. It's like, yeah. Would you want them dead? Probably.
Maybe.
Would you go through with it? Probably not. You would rather discredit them and do, you know, and leave them with nothing that, you know, than take their life. Maybe that's just me.
But I don't see how anyone could do that to a sibling. But
it happens. It happens.
Yeah.
It really does. It happens. And strangely enough, it tends to happen when there's a death.
It's always money.
Yes, it's
the root to all evil is money.
Money. But yeah, it tends to happen when there's a death, where you see siblings fighting over what they may consider to be theirs, and the parents leaving the will, and, you know, basically their expectations aren't matching reality. So their expectations is like, you know, the house is mine. The reality is parents didn't leave you diddly squat, sort of thing.
Yeah, but I always feel like parents should talk about that before they die, so that there's no surprises when you do die.
Some parents do, some parents don't, you know. But I suppose you also have to respect that it's their will. And testament is something they may wish to keep confidential. I mean, it's one thing to be open and stuff, but I think if you know you have a warring family, then yeah, you might want to keep things confidential to the point that you kick the bucket per se, and then it's at that point people understand this is what you really want. But equally, if the situation changes, then people should change their wills accordingly.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's always one of those questions. Did he mean to change it and just didn't get around to it? Or was he just that kind of old school guy who was just like, it's always going to go to my son?
And it's going to remain a mystery because we will never know.
Like the inspector said in episode 3. She's dead now, I can't ask him.
It's true. We shouldn't be laughing, but it's true.
He was so cold. I was like, damn.
Yes. Stone Cold Inspector is it Mervyn?
No.
It's not Mervyn, is it?
I don't know his first name.
Oh, that's terrible, isn't it?
It
Here
is.
we are. Episode, 4, 5? And then we're there like...
Inspector Wilson.
Yeah, what's the first name?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. How many episodes in we don't know his first name? But then, you know, it's like Pineapple Boy. Do I remember his name? No, but I do remember Pineapple Boy. Simply because he is called Pineapple Boy. So, carrying on with the theme of, I suppose, the whys. So, Cocotti mentioned that there was a bit
Mervyn.
of... See, I was right. I said Mervyn.
He was correct.
See, you know, there are times when I remember things and there are times when I don't. But I'm glad it's one of those times when I actually remembered something. Hey, memory worked today. Right, back to what I was going to say. I was going to say... yes, we was moving on to Baby Mama / Buyer.
Yes.
Whose name that I cannot remember. I'm sorry. But I'm going to call her Baby Mama / Buyer. And I'm sure that Coco T will find out who that is so she can stop me saying it. Anyhow, so Baby Mama / Buyer. Coco T mentioned that there was a bit of naughty things happening. What had transpired was that as she was younger and worked in the factory, and whilst the son was there, he decided to he basically gave her unwanted attention, which unfortunately resulted in a child, which is why she had to leave the island, because she didn't want to be around him. And she raised the son by herself and came back to the island with her son, which she now calls as an assistant. Michelle Asante is not her name. It's Janelle Dulis. Janelle Dulis. So yes, Baby Mama / Buyer.
Stop calling her that.
We'll call her Janelle for now, when I remember. But, you know, if I slip back into Baby Mama / Buyer, do not hate me. Because, you know,
I think
brain fog's a thing.
when it comes to Janelle, what we saw today is the whole reason why the commissioner is so great at what he does. He was able to speak with Francesca and kind of talk her down from the concern around exposing the secret around Janelle being essayed by Patrick.
Right.
And the way he did it was such grace and calmness. And like you said yourself, he's just smooth.
He's a
gentleman.
He's a smooth talker. He's a smooth operator.
Yeah. And I think even Catherine could see there's no way we could not have him
No.
on Sentinel Reed as our commissioner.
Well, this is it. And this is why Pineapple Boy gave her the inspiration to set up a petition to keep his job. And I was like, look at Pineapple Boy. You think he's daft, and probably he's one of those people that, you know, 98% of the time he comes out with daftness, but the 2%, when the 2% works, it's inspirational. And he literally inspired Catherine to do it with, was it Maurice the Mongoose?
Yes. Was it Marvin the Mongoose? One of them.
No, Maurice the Mongoose. Yes.
Yes. But I love the way, like you said, Catherine's face when he was talking was like, what is the point
Is there
of
a point
story?
to this? And then the point turned into, oh, I have an idea.
Yeah.
And then, I can't believe you inspired me. I have an idea.
Yeah.
Little thing. That was quite cool.
Yeah. I think he's a great addition to the team.
Yes,
He brings fresh ideas.
he does.
He is very lovable.
Yeah, he's one of those, I don't want to say puppy, but you know what I mean.
Yes, he's like a puppy.
Yeah.
And like even Darlene, who wants to be annoyed with him,
Can't be
annoyed
further
with
wrong.
him.
Especially when you start calling him Auntie Darlene. I was
Yeah,
like,
she's like, don't call me auntie. But the thing is, he wants to do well. How
Yes.
can you be mad at that?
No, you can't. You can't really be mad at that. Although the inspector has times when he looks at him a bit like how Catherine looked at him because it's 0 point or whatever it is you're telling me.
Yeah. No, but again, he's always questioning. Like
Yes.
when he said he's going to do too much, start taking photos.
Yes.
Those photos came in handy.
Thank you. That's what I mean. Much as he may have gone one way or too little, again, Silent Sam and Sleepy Pete, he went the other way with doing too much and taking photos of absolutely everything. And it turns out that one of the things he took a photo of was valuable.
Yeah. And Darlene was like, why are you taking a photo of the minibar? I'm just doing too
too
much.
But no, the moment we saw the minibar, I was like, yeah, something's off. And it wasn't even the fact that I knew that was the murder weapon of choice. It's more a case of, everything was in a row except for the top row. Yeah. Everything was in a pattern. And I'm like, that's off. That's off. Why is that off? Did he have one and just, rearrange it to the top or what? I didn't know. It's only towards the end, when they mentioned about how he was a soft drink fiend, the victim that is. And he had one just before the young man came in, the assistant came in. And I was like, oh. And then he said, well, actually, that the can was what did it. I was like, look at that. Look at that.
Do you know what I'm questioning though now?
What?
Is if he had a higher dose than everyone else.
Yes.
How comes their dose kicked in as quickly as his dose did?
Because they had 2 doses. I mean, well, technically they all had 2 doses, but he had 2. She gave him 1 dose, and I don't know how much was in that dose, to be fair, in the can.
Yeah.
But then when they had the drinks, she laced the ice.
But he didn't have ice.
He didn't have ice, but that was dose number 1 for them. He was already on dose number 1 from the can. Remember, he had the can before he actually...
Yeah, but they never got round to... So the number 2, the other people never had it.
No, but he had 2.
No. He had it in his drink.
No, he had 2. So he had the can.
Yeah.
Then he had a glass of rum with no poison.
Yeah.
Then he had a second glass of rum with poison. So that's 2 doses.
He didn't get to drink it. That's the whole
He
point.
did. He drank it. He didn't drink it all, but he started to drink it, and that's when the second dose kicked in. Because remember, he's ingesting it at that point.
Okay.
He's already ingesting it. Whereas the others, I think the dose was high enough to make them sick, but not to his extent, because...
Yeah, they don't want to kill it.
No, she didn't want to kill them. She just want to, make everybody ill.
Or
so
herself.
It seems like, yes, or herself. Well, mind you, never was there a murderer that was so, boy. One didn't mean to die, but the other, oh yes, I have no regrets. I was like, wow. I mean, you felt pity for it was torn because you felt pity for her, but you didn't. You understood why she did it. Still didn't make it acceptable, but the whole remorse of it's one of those, what my brother did was terrible, but I don't regret taking his life. What the other guy did was terrible, but I do regret taking his life. I'm like, well, why did you kill him? Why did you not just work out something, sell the factory and
Slight
split it with
spoiler
him?
alert, because we haven't exposed that part yet.
Oh well, such is life. Sorry, I skipped to the end. My bad. My bad. Anyway.
Go on, tell it now. Come on.
Well, I forgot my train of thought now.
No, but tell the spoiler, what's it called, the death, how they worked it out and what it means.
So basically what happened was, because he's a soft drink fiend, I didn't say who the murderer was, did I?
No, but you said that she's sorry for 2
I said she, didn't I? So yeah. You'd have guessed it by now. Yeah. It was the sister. There we are. I have truly spotted the alert.
No, the main spoiler I'm talking about is about the brother. And
I haven't mentioned that bit yet. No, so
because you said she's sorry about 2. Anyway,
I'm talking about I have not said why he's a soft drink fiend or anything like that. I haven't mentioned the history of the brother. I've just mentioned, like, when he's in the office, it turns out that he likes a soft drink, which is what she noticed, and so she laced the can in the office.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the fact that you mentioned that she's sorry about one but not the other. And
right. Oh, my bad.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. She murdered 2 people.
Explain, Janice.
Explain why. Because it turned out that when the brother did what he did to Janelle, baby mama ex.
Oh my gosh, keep going.
Buyer. The sister found out that same night because Janelle was talking to
Francesca?
Francesca, who is the distiller, about it. So she went and confronted her brother, who just smiled at her. She's like, "Why? Next thing you know, my girl picks up a full bottle of rum and whacks him round the head with it. She's a one-hit killer, man. She just one hit and he was down." So, in order to hide her crime, maybe a couple of years before, I'd say a year or two before, the brother had an accident in the factory where he set a particular area on fire, and so they had to rebuild it. So what she did was, after she done knock out her brother, she basically dragged him to the area where they were rebuilding and buried him, basically. And I don't mean she physically buried him herself. I meant that she put him in a spot where the builders would do her work unwittingly for her, which is what they did. So, he's dead. She now is working her way up to run this distillery with the dad and everything else. Managed to convince the dad that he's run away. So the dad keeps putting money into his bank account. And then she realises at some point somebody is withdrawing that money because she threw all his stuff in the sea. Of all places to throw it, but there you go. Someone from another island has managed to find this stuff, realised that this person's getting some money and has been dipping into that said bank account. So she's just like, how could a dead man be dipping into his own bank account? Unless somebody else has found it. And sure enough, the person that found it came to Saint Marie, posing as the dead brother. But the only person that would know that he's not the dead brother is the sister, because she killed him. Literally. So, of course, he's figured out that the person that he is masquerading as is dead. He's also figured out who's killed him and is blackmailing her, saying, you know, I've got on a sweet deal here. You mention anything and I will tell the police exactly what you did. So, unfortunately, for the sister's sake, he had to die.
I don't think he had to die. I think she could have just pretended that he didn't know what she was talking about.
They could have split the money, you know. They could have sold the factory, split the money, gone their separate ways. But no, she wanted it. She wanted the distillery. She didn't want it sold.
He was a bad man.
They were bad people.
Yeah.
Bad people.
I think she was a good person.
Well, a good person that made bad choices, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, she made some seriously bad life decisions. But unfortunately, there was no remorse for one of those bad life decisions. So, what can you do with that? If somebody has no remorse for killing somebody, bearing in mind, you know, it's a Caribbean island. I would say quite a few of the Caribbean islands are religious in terms of Catholicism. And one of the rules of the Ten Commandments is thou shalt not kill. So,
wow.
And it's one of those, right. So I can understand, you know, I can understand the feeling of wanting to do it, but the actual carrying it out is like,
I don't think the murder of her brother was intentional.
No, well, can you really say that though? When she says she has no remorse, he had to die.
No, she didn't say he had to die. She said, I don't have any remorse for it.
No, she said he had to die.
No, she didn't say he had to die. What she said is, as it's called,
No, what she said was, I regret killing the fake dude. He didn't deserve to die, but I do not regret what I did to my brother.
He did deserve to die.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
You told me he doesn't.
Oh my bad. But she didn't mean to do it.
I don't know. This is the thing. She has no remorse, which suggests it's done with intention.
No.
No. If you think about it, I mean, when I say no. If you really think about how she said it, it was a case of he could have done that to anybody, and I think the outcome would have been the same.
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you is, just because you hit someone doesn't mean you want them to die. Like she said, she only hit him one time. It wasn't like she's trying to stab him, shoot him. She didn't go in with the intention to murder him.
Oh no!
Yeah,
that was a hefty bottle of rum, yo.
It wasn't that big.
Oh please! It was full. It wasn't even like it was an empty bottle of rum that, you know, crashed on his head or something. You know, it's not like you took a slipper to the man and beat him to death, is it? It's a big hefty bottle of rum. Good rum too.
Look, all I'm saying is, just because she doesn't regret it doesn't mean she had intentions of murder.
Well, technically she did have, because she did it again.
Well, that's
twice.
That's different.
No.
That's a different situation.
Murder is murder.
I can't take her nowhere. I can't take her Anyway.
Murder is murder. But unfortunately, she did do it with intent because she didn't want the factory to go to anybody else but her. So that then again amounts to greed because they couldn't sell it.
That wasn't the reason why. It's because Janelle was going to raise it to the ground.
But she could have sold it anyway.
What do you mean?
It's not hers to sell. Nor was it his to sell. It was a fake dude.
I know it was a fake dude.
So even if they'd gone through with the sale, who would they sold it to? The only person they could have sold it to was a dead man.
No, what do you mean?
Who owns the factory? A dead man.
Yeah.
Who can they sell the factory? Who can sell the factory on? None of them.
No, but she's his next of kin.
That factory doesn't go to her.
What do you mean?
If he's died and somebody else has turned up in his place, right?
Yeah.
Which is pretty much what she did. Short of killing him, which is what she did, she wouldn't have been able to sell that factory. If she hadn't killed him, neither of them would have been able to sell that factory because it would have been fraud. And at some point, they would have found out that the bank account that it's going into, that person's dead.
But how would they have found that out?
Hmm?
I'm very confused now.
You have somebody masquerading as somebody else, pretending to own a factory they don't own.
Yeah.
How were they able to sell it?
Because he has all his details. He has his bank account. He has all that stuff.
But he doesn't forge his signature, does he? At some point, they won't be able to. I mean, it's one thing if they were able to make a deal. Like I said, if they made a deal where
that's what they were going to do. They were about to sign that there and then.
No, you don't understand. She didn't want it signed.
I know she didn't want it signed.
So that deal would never have happened. It could never have happened because she knew what was in the ground.
I know. But
if my girl raised it to the ground, what would she find?
I know that.
So there's no way the sister would want that factory sold.
I know.
This is like do you ever watch an Edgar Allan Poe movie or read any of his works?
Yeah.
Okay, so there was one particular film, and it wasn't The Fall of the House at Usher, it was something else. I think it was The Raven, where a man had buried his wife in the walls of the house.
Yeah.
And for years, everyone's like, yeah, you need to sell the house, and not selling the house. Why? Because he knew what was in the walls. If he sold that house and someone decided to break those walls down, they'd find a skeleton or two in there. And what would happen to him?
Yeah.
So that's what I mean when I say that land would never have sold because of what's in it.
No, I get what you're saying. She would never allow it to sell. Not the land couldn't sell. That's where you got.
Yeah.
That's where I got confused. You
No.
mean she would never allow it to
no.
sell? Yeah, sorry, I didn't understand because you was like the land could never be sold. I was like, no, the land could be sold. Yeah, but she wouldn't. Yeah, I get you. Yeah. I was so confused. I was like, what do you mean? Of course it could be sold. It's his land. Like, yeah. No, but of course she couldn't. Because she knows, innit?
She knows what's there. She knows what's there. That's why I'm like,
Yeah. But also, I don't think she would want to sell it anyway.
No, that's what I'm saying. She would have rather kept it going until the day she died. And then after that, she would give two hoots. Because she's in the ground at that point. They could try her for murder, but what are they going to do? You know, yes, we charge this dead person for killing another dead person. It'll be one of those cold cases that never goes to trial.
A bit okay.
Should be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be fine. Anyway.
So, during all of this, the comedic moment was Inspector Wilson and Naomi's lunch.
Oh, man. I felt a working lunch. The man wolfed down his food like he had some place to be.
He did work.
Poor Naomi's there, sitting there. She couldn't even decide what part of the prawn to cut.
Well, first of all, she didn't know what she wanted to eat because he didn't let her read the menu.
No.
So then she said, I'll have what you're having.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he wolfs it down.
Wolfs it down.
She can't.
By the time she's even like that, she even had a chance to cut the prawn. Oh, okay, yeah, take that to go. I was like, damn. I'd be upset. You see what? She was mild upset. I'd be like, no, you know what? You go ahead. I'll catch up. I'm going to sit there and eat my food.
I think that's her big time upset though. Because she was like, no, you're rude.
You're annoying.
You're annoying.
You're this, you're that.
Yeah.
I was just like, really? Oh.
But I saw the smile, the start of the blooming romance.
Yeah, she, again, Cocoti's expectations are not matching her reality.
My expectations are matching. Did you see the smile? Tell me you saw the smile.
There was a smile, but that was more of an acknowledgement of, oh, you have backbone.
It was, oh, I like this. Let's see where this can go.
No, it's more of a, oh, you can give as much as you're getting, finally. Someone that is matching energy. That don't mean romantical energy.
No. Darlene was matching energy. She never got that smile.
That's because he don't like Darlene in that way, nor does he like Naomi in that way. Naomi spent more time with him than Darlene has. Darlene he sees as the stern auntie. Whereas this one, he's got her into so much trouble, he has no choice but to see her as a friend.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Trouble by association. What did I do?
I will never forget last episode when she was like, I have been driving this car for many years. And the one time you get into it, get damaged, and all you heard was, I wouldn't mind, but we was doing the same. Oh, it's so funny.
I was just like, wow. But yeah, he clearly, he doesn't. I'll tell you one of the things I noticed though. The fact that she told him that he needs to be taking moments, but he also mentioned that it's his default not to take moments.
Yeah.
So what you're seeing there is that he acknowledges that he avoids the hard stuff. Eventually, towards the end of the episode, we see him actually taking a moment and just enjoying his surroundings. But yeah,
I think it's hard for him to feel his feelings. I think the very, 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 very brief conversation that they had about him being in care may have something to do with that, about his time there.
That's an interesting one, because when he first came on the show, he just said he was adopted. He didn't mention care at all. And then as time has gone on, he's mentioned actually he's been in care. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how much more he reveals throughout this particular season.
And I think it's interesting because when one hears someone's been adopted, the automatic assumption you make is they have a family.
No, not necessarily.
Well,
I suppose it's more Americans you hear that there are bad adoptions. They're in the system, they pass from one home to another. You don't really... I'm not saying it doesn't happen here, but you don't hear it
as much. Yeah,
it's not as open as it is in America. You have lots of shows where they do sort of address that. Here you hear it, but even then it's still not adoption, it's foster homes, not so much, you're an adopted family and da.
And that's what I mean. I feel like normally when someone says that they're adopted, it means a family has adopted them and they are now within a family. I think he says that so people stop asking questions. But
now he's revealed that he's in care, so
yeah,
who knows?
So maybe he wasn't adopted. Actually.
No, maybe he was fostered. Yeah, possibly.
Yeah,
but we're just
we're just assuming.
We're just assuming here.
The same way before when Bakes was assuming about the mother and that she had no friends, but we don't know.
I didn't say she didn't have no friends.
You were like, because you didn't know anyone.
I said the only person she talked to was a neighbour.
Yeah, and I was like, we don't know that yet. We don't know.
I was going on the context of the episode we were seeing at that point in time.
Me too. I was saying we don't know,
but now we know that she hung out at a bar. She got a picture on the wall with a little signature.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, but we also don't know how many friends she had. She might not have any. But I think we just don't know.
I think it'll be nice to see whether he actually starts talking to people at that bar to see whether they knew her. So it gets more of an understanding about his mum. Maybe that will happen in the next episode.
Maybe. And then maybe we'll find out that her death was not just an accident.
Oh, yeah, she's still on this one.
I'm still on this one.
Irrefutable proof in the previous episodes that her death was an accident.
It's not irrefutable.
Oh, dear.
It's just a recording.
Well... we're going to leave that for you audiences to decide. Final thoughts?
You go first.
My final thought. So, we've noticed that there's been a petition for the commissioner to keep his job. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, so we're happy. We're hoping that, some change will happen there. Interesting to see how the detective blossoms in the next few episodes, because clearly he's started to see a little bit more insight into who he is. Oh, we forgot to mention aircon and satellite dish. Rah! That's what I say, man. Boy. Lesson in life: when you're on a World Heritage Site, ask permission to get a satellite dish.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. So my last thoughts were the satellite dish situation was so funny.
That's
and
hilarious.
his reaction to taking it down was, I guess I won't be able to watch the footy then. And I was like,
That was the whole point of the satellite dish.
the whole point was to watch this
Was to
football
watch footy, have aircon, and never leave that place.
and have all the doors and windows closed.
Yeah, because that's how aircon works.
I
isn't
know.
it?
Yeah. And Naomi was like, I would rather have a view. He was like, nope. I
Nope.
want aircon
I
and I want
my
football.
TV. Yes. And poor thing, she's there shivering. So
Yeah.
clearly he had it on.
It was 18 degrees. She was being
18
dramatic.
She's Caribbean, man. Them people feel cold at them temperatures.
But yeah, I think we are really seeing the team coming together, unifying. Pineapple Boy is shining
He
with
is.
his doing too much. And I am really interested to see Naomi and the inspector come together. Bake says it's friendships. I says a potential romance. Who knows
So,
what will be.
camaraderie.
Yes, men and women can be friends, but it would be cute them two together because she's such a passive person until she gets annoyed.
Coco T wants a love interest.
Yeah, and he needs a little bit of love in his life, don't you think? And the commissioner, I'm so glad that Catherine and Pineapple Boy have come up with this idea to do this.
Yes.
So maybe he may stay, because Saint Marie won't be the same without him.
It won't. We want him to stay.
Yeah,
Definitely. Even if the role's slightly different, we want him to stay.
but I think he would leave if he wasn't commissioner anymore.
Don't know. We'll just have to wait and see
Yeah.
on the next episode of Death in Paradise. You have been listening to Coco Tea and Bakes, where we have been serving up some bits of wisdom along with some saucy views from the Coco Tea. Join us next time for more of the same.